Before we get started, a few disclaimers. Narrowing this down was tough. My opinion on these clashes could probably change by tomorrow morning. This is purely subjective, just my take, and trust me, there are a ton of other battles across the franchise that I absolutely love and, well, love a little less. So let's not get into any atomic breath-fueled arguments in the comments, unless they're good-natured. Alright, let's start with the bottom of the barrel, the fights that didn't quite hit with me. We're counting down from 10 to 6, the less stellar encounters. Coming in at number 10, we have Godzilla vs. the Giant Condor from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. This one just felt so random. The giant condor just kind of appears out of nowhere. Plus, the camera work in this scene is pretty rough. You can barely see what's going on. And the whole thing is over in just a blink of an eye. Not exactly a thrilling kaiju showdown. Next up at number 9 is Godzilla vs. Ibra, also from Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster. This underwater slugfest just didn't do it for me. It felt really slow and lacked any real excitement. And honestly, how many times can you watch giant monsters throw boulders at each other? It just wasn't that engaging. And landing at number 8, we have Godzilla vs. Anguirus from Godzilla Raids Again. Now this is historically significant as Toho's first monster-on-monster battle, however, the choreography is a bit clunky. Understandable for the time, but still. And it felt way too fast. They didn't slow down the movement to really convey the immense size and weight of these creatures. Ultimately, it's not that exciting to rewatch. Creeping in at number 7, we have Godzilla vs. Kumonga from Son of Godzilla. This fight was just kind of boring. For a giant spider, there wasn't a whole lot of actual brawling. It just felt like a lot of standing around, shooting beams and webs at each other, not the kind of close quarters monster action I was hoping for. And finally, rounding out our worst list at number 6 is, and this might be controversial, Godzilla vs. Mothra and Batra from Godzilla vs. Mothra Battle for Earth. For me, this is the least exciting battle in the entire Heisei series. Mothra and Batra mostly just fly around Godzilla, pelting him with beams. There aren't really any memorable, impactful moments in this clash. Alright, so we've endured the less thrilling encounters, now it's time to shift gears and talk about the fights that truly get my blood pumping, the ones that make me stand up and cheer. Let's dive into my top 5 best Godzilla battles. Kicking off our best list at number 5 is the fun and exciting showdown Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla from the original Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in 1974. This fight is just pure kaiju entertainment. Mechagodzilla poses a real challenge to Godzilla, and the addition of King Caesar into the mix adds a really cool element to the battle. It's a classic for a reason. Stepping up to number 4 is the tense and dramatic battle Godzilla vs. Destroya from Godzilla vs. Destroya. This fight is packed with action and incredible high stakes. You can really feel the tension as Godzilla faces off such a formidable and terrifying opponent, especially with the emotional weight with Godzilla's meltdown and Junior's fate hanging in the balance. Claiming the number 3 spot is basically Godzilla against everyone from Godzilla Final Wars. Seriously, just watching Godzilla absolutely obliterate so many enemies is just hilarious and awesome in the best way possible. And the fight with Monster X, peak Godzilla action. Even though the individual battles are short, the amazing action sequences throughout the entire movie make this an unforgettable experience. Charging into the number 2's position is the grand and epic clash of the Monsterverse, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019. The scale of this fight is just immense, and the action sequences are incredible. King Ghidorah is such an imposing and powerful threat, making his battles with Godzilla truly epic and a visual feast. Also, adding Mothra and Rodan to the mix just made it even better. And finally, taking the crown for my number 1 best Godzilla fight is Godzilla and Kong vs. Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong. What? A Monsterverse film at number 1? I know. Even though I wasn't entirely on board with Godzilla teaming up with Kong initially, I absolutely cannot deny how incredibly fun it is to watch. Godzilla and Kong actually make a fantastic team, and Mechagodzilla was a serious challenge for both of them. Plus, let's be honest, all the fights in this movie are pretty superb. So there you have it. I want to thank DinoBoy2005 for the requests. That's my top 10 best and worst Godzilla fights. What do you guys think of my picks? What are some of your favorite and least favorite Godzilla brawls? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to read them. And that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay big, G fans.